Hey Terrasphere, it's Holly from Cape Cod Creatures, and I said I'd start going live on Tuesday nights regularly again because I think it was Tuesdays. I forget if it was Tuesdays or Thursdays that I was doing last time, but it's that time of year, so the shop is slow. We can start doing something regular that's not on a Sunday. It seems that some people couldn't make Sundays. Some people like, I don't know, some people like the morning chats, some people like the evening chats, but I'm still going to do the breakfast ones. I do enjoy those. But anyway, tonight we are going to be taking a peek at the Doreen Virtue Animal Tarot. I have had this one for a while. Haven't opened it. I took the plastic off so you didn't have to watch me struggle with plastic. Special ordered this or pre-ordered it back in March because basically I saw the box art and I went, oh my God, that's adorable. Like I need to have that. And you know, I'm a sucker for an animal deck. It's just the way it is. So I said I needed it and I ordered it and it came and I've been leaving it at work. Not on purpose the past few nights, but I've probably had it for like a week or two now. Yeah, so I've been leaving it at work by accident and I have it now. So I figured we can go ahead and I remembered it. So let's go ahead and unbox it. All right. Hi Tiff, how are you? It's Tiffy. Ooh, she's my bestie, my BFF. Okay, so you open the box and it's actually a really cute little box. Standard Hay House chipboard. It's got a really cute little orange inside with a little butterfly. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's really, really tooty. And then it comes with a little book. Hi, Sunny, how are you? Oh my goodness, are you cooking dinner and lurking? That's awesome. It comes and then you get like this little it's a standard Hay House little white book, packed full of meanings and well, not ridiculousness, but your standard, probably way too much prose for a deck like this. Then you get a little bit about the artist. So the thing that people need to know about Doreen Virtue is that she doesn't do the art for her decks. It's usually other artists. And for this deck in particular, the artist's name is Dan Craig. So I know there's some sort of a rumor flying around out there about how her decks are going to get taken off the market because she's got some sort of deal with Hay House. And seeing as how there are so many people usually involved in her and her decks, I think she's just moving forward. Her name's just going to get taken off. I mean, otherwise they'd be in breach of contract with all these other people. So I don't see why they would stop making her decks altogether. Because I mean, like it's just they slapped her name on some decks that she helped create. But you know, there's other people involved in here. It's not all about Doreen. So you have your ridiculously long list of decks that she's created. And then like how to consecrate your deck and some spreads and how to shuffle the cards and all that ridiculousness. But you get a nice little book that comes with it. And then the cards themselves. So as you can see, they're still all wrapped in their doohickey. Like I haven't even taken them out yet. So let's go ahead and take a peek. I can already tell you I'm disappointed. I've seen images of the deck online and okay. So anyway, these are the cards. They're your standard ginormous Hay House size. You do get the really cute little kitty on the back of each one. And this kitty is absolutely adorable. I just think this artwork right here is just really beautiful. It's your standard Hay House cardstock. I mean, if you're familiar with Hay House decks, there's like no real surprises here. It's flexible. It's kind of sturdy, a little cardboardy, but not too much. And it's not gilded, actually. This is one of the, I'm sure it's one of the few decks that actually isn't gilded. Both Doreen decks that I have right now have the gold gilding on the edges, but this one is just plain. And I'm kind of glad for that because the other decks are Oh, she has her crown. Look. It's on the bottom. Yeah, Doreen's other decks that I have are gilded, but the gilding is super cheap because the deck production value is super cheap. So you just wind up with like gold dandruff everywhere. Okay, so the actual cards themselves though, oh, make me wanna, I don't even know, like just so disappointed in them. So each of the suits and arcanas, they're all color coded. So excellent. You've got green, blue, another blue, burgundy for whatever reason, and a purple. I find that that burgundy is really stark and startling. The rest of the deck is all done in blue hues, or colors in the color family. Oh, thank you. Wait, thank you, Sunny. I'm glad you like my new hairs. I grew them myself. So I don't know. It's just like with all that green, all that blue, all the like the blue color family, plus hey, have some burgundy. Like that's really weird and that's really startling. And then you get the images on the cards. So the artwork is really, really cute. What I do not like is the ginormous borders. And then you've got a description on the bottom of each card. For example, the Fool. Yeah, there we go. Shepherd puppy. You are starting a new adventure. Run free and take a leap of faith. I don't have her other tarot decks, so I don't know how this holds up to the rest of them, but I don't need a paragraph or a phrase on the bottom of each one. This is going to work more like a it's going to work more like an oracle deck, I think. Plus the giant border, like the artwork is really fantastic. Look how good this looks so large. This looks so good that large. And then you've got like tiny image and it's like kind of grainy. Like I don't know. I'm just very disappointed. And apparently there's a butterfly in each there's something about like a butterfly being in each image, and it's about it has something like the elements I think it's supposed to capture. Yeah, like fire, water. Oh, the chakra. It's the chakras. So there's a butterfly on each card that captures the chakra energy for each card. So this one's got all 7 butterflies. The magician is a unicorn. I would have loved for this image to be larger. It's a beautiful image, but there you've got the root chakra. The high priestess is blue. I can't tell if that's indigo or blue. I'm going to say indigo for third eye. Could also be blue for throat. I guess it would depend on how you're reading this card in particular. But you get, like, some cards have like paragraphs on them. I am just really, really disappointed in this deck. Like, this is a cute little bunny, like the Empress. It's got the orange chakra for sacral. Yeah, like some of it's like a lot. It's not even like a little bit. Like the polar bear one. Jesus Christ. Like that's, look at that. I'm gonna read a novel. Like if you're trying to do a reading, especially if you read cards intuitively, that's gonna like really kind of take away from your reading, I would imagine. But yeah, so I am a little disappointed in the ginormous borders and the giant blocks of text. But like I said, I don't own any other, like she's got like 48 million decks out there. But so I don't own all of her tarot. Like I said, I only have 2 of her oracle decks, like her 2 non-angel related decks. So if anybody wants to chime in and let me know if she's got other decks that are kind of like this, that would be great. But yeah, I'm not. And it's also got a keyword at the top of each card. So not only is it numbered, like this is, like you've got these great images and then you've got tarot for idiots as applied to, like they don't even use Roman numerals. They use the regular numbers. Like that's, I don't know. I'm just not very happy about it. So let's see. Yeah, and like, what? I don't know. So that's how I feel about this one. This is like, I'm glad I only paid $11 for it because there's no way I would ever pay more. There's no way I would ever pay more for this. Like, look at how cute this artwork is. Look at this puppy one. It's adorable. I want this to be the card. I don't want, and it's very, the artwork is very misleading. It makes you think that at least the artwork goes all the way to the edge of whatever it is you've got, and I don't know. But anyway, so that is my very disappointing experience with what is quite possibly Doreen Virtue's very last tarot deck, because she's gone crazy or whatever. So, okay, so the suits too, let's address that a little bit. They make, there's no particular, oh my God, look at that. Look at that. So, yeah, it's like Release is the version of the Sunny says Release is her version of the death, is her version of the death card, and the white peacock is weird. Yeah, I mean, not all deck images are going to resonate with everybody, but which is fine. Like, they don't have to. I just think like the production quality on this deck is just really kind of shitty. Again, you've got like this really cute artwork, and then like I'm just so disappointed in the way that this deck turned out. But yeah, so you've got like really, I'll probably wind up doing like a more in-depth review. I just wanted to let people know that I had it, and I hate it. Let's see, the Queen of Spring. Okay, so the art, so the box art, just so you guys know, is Queen of Spring, which I would imagine is cups. I think that's cups. Yeah, because it's spring, summer. Summer would be wands, right? Winter is swords, I know that. And then autumn, maybe summer's pentacles. I don't know, but I don't know. It's just, this isn't. Now I know, and knowing's half the battle. I know just to never order another Doreen Virtue deck ever again. Like, I just, you know, I got sucked in by adorable kittens, and it's just, it was kitten bait. That's not fair. It's not fair to lure me in with kittens. But anyway, other than that, only thing I really got to show you guys tonight as far as haul stuff is concerned, you know, I think there's a Earthstone, there's a Bone Stone bash going on tonight. I'm not sure, like I know Avalon's doing a thing tonight, so I won't take up too much of everybody's time. But I picked up a really cute little book at the bookstore. It's Basic Witches, which is a play on word for basic bitches, which I don't know how I feel about that phrase. I think it's probably getting a little overused these days, but it's still a pretty good phrase. And it's just, it says, tap into your inner sorceress and channel the dark arts with this magical lifestyle guide for everything from powering up a stylish talisman to banishing terrible Tinder dates. Hi, Deshan, how are you? Do you like my hair? It's like all greasy and shit tonight, but thank you. Okay, so yeah, it's like how to banish drama and raise hell with your coven. I think it'll be a really cute little, a relaxing this is a Netflix binge in here. So, I mean, like, it looks like there's some cute stuff in here to be done. This is, yeah, it's how to relax and watch Netflix. It was a ritual for that. There's calisthenics. It just looked like a funny and cute little book. And for the price, it wasn't terrible. Like, you know, just it looked good. Oh, it's got how to cure what ails you. It's got some home remedies. It's got, let's see, how to ditch a ritual for a spell to ditch friend envy. which I don't have to have. I have Tiffany. She's my bestest friend. You can all be envious of my friend. As a matter of fact, you can ditch the friend envy. And then I picked up, because I'm a huge nerd, I picked up American Monsters, which is about like the type of, like, it's monster lore, legends, and sightings in America, because I fancy myself a Winchester. So I'm going to read that. I'll probably wind up reading this first, and then I'll read this. Julie, you haven't missed much. I just went over the Doreen Virtues Animal Tarot deck and how disappointing it was. And now I'm just kind of going over like my little book haul here. Oh, I also got a book about ancient aliens because I can't help myself. I can't. I love me some ancient aliens. I cannot get enough of it. I just cannot get enough. And I don't know why. All right, so we're gonna do some readings tonight, because why not? Because why the hell not, right? So let's see. Let me grab a deck. Oh, you know what deck I haven't used in a while? After I did all that work trimming it, let's do a Dream Raven Tarot. Because like I said, I did all that work trimming it, and then I haven't even really used it. I know, I'm really excited for the monster book. Like I cannot wait to like just nerd out with that and a warm cup of tea and like read about wendigos and werewolves and all sorts of ridiculous, like sea serpents and like sightings and lore, and I really can't wait, and I want to know. Hi Deshan. Yeah, ancient aliens. I love me ancient aliens. Because that's how you have to say it. You can't say it regular, even if you're just talking about it in passing. You have to be like, hey, did you guys see the latest episode of Ancient Aliens? Like, you got to do the lean back. And I love Giorgio. Like, I have such a like nerd girl crush on him. Oh my goodness. Like, he's so ridiculous. And like, if you watch the early episodes, like, he wasn't quite the rock star that he is yet. Like, he was super nerdy, and and his hair just like got bigger and bigger as the seasons progressed, and then he started wearing like ridiculous like Steven Tyler outfits, and I just love it so much. Oh, the Scholastics for Kids books. Yeah, I have to check those out. I've heard a little bit about the Monster Alien books, but anyway. Oh yeah, Julie, those are good books. I've heard good things. All right, so let's do some readings. If anybody wants a reading, I've got Dream Raven here. Plus, you guys know I've got my extensive deck collection. So if you want me to read with something else for you, I am not going to be Giorgio for Halloween. Oh, what are you guys being for Halloween this year? Let's because it's time. It's time to start thinking about costumes. So every year, the street that I have my business on does a Phantasmagoria. You're gonna be poor for Halloween? Tiffany, shut up. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. So every year, we do the street that I have where my business is located does a safe trick or treat for the chillins, and it never used to be ginormous, but over the past few years, it's gone from like a few thousand people to like 10,000 people. So that's how I feel about that. You were proud till you saw the monster book? What do you mean? Proud about what? Yeah, it's so the way I circumvent the cost of candy, because like the first year I opened my business, I was like, well, shit, I'm giving out good candy. And then I probably spent about $500-600 on candy. Didn't even get to get. I ran out of $500-600 worth of candy. So there's that. Never doing that again. If you go on Amazon, you can buy bags of Tootsie Roll Midgies. You can get like 700 of them for $20. So I get like 5 bags of those, which is probably I don't know. I get like 5 bags of the Tootsie Roll Midgies. Everybody gets 1. Oh, you have a monster book? What's your monster book? Oh, Phantasmagoria. No, that's a great book. So don't know. Phantasmagoria is a great book. So yeah, we buy shit tons of Tootsie Roll Midgies, and then everybody gets 1 Tootsie Roll Midgie. You only get 1. You don't get a handful of Tootsie Roll Midgies. And then I'm also very strict in my trick-or-treating rules. Like I have to be, like I can't just like whatever. So the rules for getting candy for me for trick-or-treating, like, well, that, and I'm also like, I'm a jaded, cranky old person now. So like, here's your candy, get off my lawn. I should take a bite out of each one before I give them out. Okay. Gross. That's so gross. All right. So 1, you have to be in a costume. It doesn't have to be a great costume, but there has to be, like, because I don't want to be like, oh, you know, like you couldn't afford an amazing costume, but like it doesn't cost anything to go into your dad's closet and like pretend to be businessman or whatever it is. Like you can throw together some kind of costume. You make it out of cardboard tubes and aluminum foil. That's a robot. Like you have to have a costume. I don't discriminate against age either, which is the other thing, because you can be like, heck, if you're 30 and you have gone to the effort of making or like donning a costume to trick or treat, good for you. Good for you, I say. Yeah. So, are they 720 pieces for $5 at Candy Warehouse? What? Ooh, maybe I'll get 6 bags of Midgies. Okay, so anyway, Deshan just informed me that there are 720 piece bags of, oh my goodness. But yeah, like you can, so you just have to have some kind of costume. Also, you have to say trick or treat. You have to. I don't care how shy you are. I don't care what is going on. Like, I don't care what trick or treat. That's the rule. It's not hard. You've got 364 days to practice and like 1 day for the big show. Trick or treat. That's the rule. It's the law. So you have to be in a costume. You have to say trick or treat. And you cannot, because occasionally I'll mix in like other things into the candy bowl sometimes just to like, because I'm not a horrible monster. Like I want there to be options for like, let's say somebody can't have chocolate. So I want there to be options, but you cannot ask for a different piece of candy just because you don't like the one you got. You can't with me. You can give me it back. You can give me back the piece of candy you received, but you're not getting a new one. There is none of this like, I don't like X. Can I have this instead? Like it's no. And then you have to say thank you too. If you don't say thank you, I will take back 2 pieces of candy out of your bowl. So not only do you, for rudeness, not only do you lose the candy I would have given you, you're penalized an extra piece of candy because you were rude. So like you can't, oh God, like just kids these days. Ugh. Like I'm such a cranky old person, but yeah, no, like there's got to be rules and structure to this. Like it's bedlam. It's bedlam otherwise. But anyway, yeah, no. And you know what? As far as like, again, if you have a severe peanut allergy, I am not forcing a Reese's peanut butter cup upon you. But if you don't have a legitimate excuse for wanting a different piece of candy, that is what trading your friends at school is for after. And I will stand by it every time. Like that is, you don't just get to, you just don't. Not in my world. Not in my world. No, I don't dress up the pets. I used to. So somebody wanted to Sunny asked if I dress up the pets for Halloween. I used to, like I've got my old dog used to be a fairy princess because he loved dressing up in a tutu. So you know, I still have like a couple of his costumes because I love him and I'm a hoarder, so can't give him up. And then Ripley was a Sharknado for Halloween once, and it was glorious. And Zoe has a couple of what do you do? She's got a couple of costumes, but I don't anymore. The dogs just bark, and it's honestly, after I've done the safe trick or treat too, like I don't bring the dogs to the safe trick or treat because it's just craziness. I actually, like, it's so busy. They shut down the street to traffic, and then like 10,000 kids come and like swarm down on this like third of a mile long street, and like you can hardly move. There are so many people, and it's just nothing kills your faith in humanity quite like the safe trick or treat. Like I have one friend who is Tiffany knows her, Devin. She is the sweetest, nicest, most like everything is glitter and unicorn and rainbows, and you cannot convince this girl otherwise. Except for safe trick or treat. Like she just won't. I made her do it one year, and I just like by the time it was like she had the 1,000-yard stare. It was like flashbacks of Nom for her after safe trick or treat. So I just like that's how bad it is. Like I did like seriously, you could be like, Devin, oh my God, there's nuclear war today. Like it's going down. The world's coming to an end. And she'd be like, but it makes the sky such a pretty shade of pink. Like she'd figure out a oh, you gave Harry Potter flavored jelly or the candy apples that are actually candied onions. Those are fantastic, the caramel onions. And if I didn't live in such a busy area, kids be getting onions. This is the way it is. You're doing Marvel gummies? Oh, that's nice of you. I am buying a bag of for home. I don't do trick or treat at my house anymore because I live close enough to my shop actually where it's just all the same fucking kids. So so I buy a bag of good Halloween candy. I shut the door, I smoke a bowl, and then I eat the candy. And then I usually watch some sort of like Halloween slasher fic or Marvel movie or something like. But yeah, I have I'll have had it, and then I have to remove the scary Halloween makeup that I've done to make kids cry at the trick or treat. And you think I'm being facetious, but I'm not. Last year I made 5 kids cry. Very proud of myself. I actually had a little bit of leftover candy from that because my Halloween makeup was so gruesome that the kids wouldn't even come and take the candy. It was so good. It was so good. I'm such a horrible, horrible person. Oh, and I love me for it. Hey, just because it's safe trick or treat doesn't mean it's a not scary trick or treat. So anyway, let's go ahead and do some readings. I think I've got this deck shuffled. If you have any questions, you can put them in the doobly. And then we can go ahead and do some readings. Yeah, oh my God, so good. But anyway, yeah, I love making kids cry. That's horrible. There are no really good scary movies anymore. For scary movies, I usually go back to the classics. Actually, you know what was decent? Oculus was pretty good. Oh God, what did I just watch? Oh, I love that one. I always want to say it's a Guillermo del Toro one, but it's not. Where the people move into a scary house and there's like these really creepy tooth fairies that live in their basement and then like try to torture their kid. That one's amazing. Yes. So my friend Tiffany's asking for people who like the horror movies, because I don't like the gory horror movies. I like more thriller and suspense and fantasy. I don't like that. I can't do the gory ones for whatever reason. Like you think I'd be able to do like because I love doing gory makeup, but I can't. In zombies I can do, but like really gross stuff I just can't handle. Like gratuitously gross stuff. Like I refuse to watch the Saw movies. It's just not a thing I'm gonna do. I would read them if they were books. I would read the Saw books, but I'm not gonna watch the But anyway, yeah, like I'll watch serial killer movies and stuff like that. I don't know, just something kind of spooky. Ghost movies. I liked Oculus. That one was kind of fun. I don't know. I'm just gonna browse on Netflix. There'll be something. There'll be something pretty grody there. So it'll be a good time. Anyway, readings. If you want a reading, put your questions in the doobly. So what are you all being for Halloween this year? This year, and also put your Halloween costumes in the doobly so we can talk about them. This year I'm going to be a disgusting, mutated. My favorite serial killer? That's an interesting one. I really like, well, first of all, I can't believe I'm going to be like, this is my favorite serial killer. I like Albert Fish. He's one of like the first documented serial killers in American history. Like the guy was just fucked up. Like he used to pretend that he was he would like go around the country and he would pretend that he was like a rich dude and had a farm, and he would take interns and stuff. Like he'd be like, oh yeah, come send your kid to live with me and he can work my farm and I'll pay him, and you know, it's good money, and yeah, and they can use it for school. And then he would kill and eat them. And then sometimes he would write letters to their parents being like, this is how your kid tasted, because that's awesome. And he was like in the 1800s. And then there was another one. Oh God, I can't do Saw. I can't do Saw. Oh, I love the Freddy Krueger movies. Those are great. God, I forget the name of the serial killer. I used to have, you know, I'd have to get it back from my mom. I had this awesome book. It was called The Killer Book of Serial Killers. And there's like all the murder that had ever been murdered. Which is like, this is how did we even get on this subject? So it was all the murder that had ever been murdered. And there was one killer, they called him the Candyman. Like he was like a real serial killer. Oh, I love Exorcist. That's a great movie. And oh, the Exorcism of Emily Rose is a good one. And I think it's called Right with Anthony Hopkins. That one was fantastic. What's another good exorcism movie? I feel like I just binge watched a whole bunch, but that was probably like last winter. Summer goes by really fast for me. But anyway, so he was called the Candyman, and his family owned a candy shop, and he used it, and he had a young lover who he would help like lure young kids and boys, and he would for fantasy serial killers, yeah, Dexter and Hannibal Lecter are my favorites as far as fake serial killers, but this guy was for real, and like I think it was like definitely over 20 bodies. Like his boyfriend escaped and told the authorities like, yeah, no, we've been killing like underage kids for a long time. And the police almost didn't believe him because he was so high, but they finally like, okay, well, yeah, sure. And then they started digging and they found like all these bodies underneath his house, and he had a storage unit. They found a shit ton of bodies under there, and they don't even think they found them all. They found them under his candy shop. He had like a ice cream and candy shop. I forget what city it was in, but they found a ton of bodies under there, and then they found somebody. They just stopped digging. So and I believe that property is also on a list of like the most haunted properties. But again, I can't remember the name of the killer off the top of my head. I'll look it up and we'll follow up on it. Like, I don't know, why do I know this? Because it's fascinating to read about. I love true crime. For a while, I had to stop reading true crime stories because like every bump in the night, like I'd be like, oh my God. I loved Dexter too, Julie. It was such a good, the books were horrible though. Has anybody read the Dexter books, or is it just me? Those were awful. Those, it's just seriously like each one is like 300 pages a piece. Is that the name of the guy? Why is Dean Coral the guy I'm thinking about, or is that your favorite serial killer? Yeah, it's Like, it was crazy. And yeah, it's like they think he's probably the most prolific serial killer in American history. And then there's then this couple. There's another. Let's see. There is another. This couple just got caught in Russia for killing. They're cannibals. So they have been. Thank you, YY. Dean Coral. That's the name of the Candyman. Thank you very much for looking that up for me. Yeah, but recently too, this couple just got caught in Russia. They were killing, cooking, and eating people, and then also selling the meat to members of the Russian military, like because they live near a base or on a base. And they're thought to be the most prolific serial killers in Russian history. They have apparently, like, they're going to be indicted in missing persons cases, like early 80s and on. Like they've been doing it for a long time. Yeah, crazy people brains are like, it's crazy. But anyway, all right, let's talk about some more. Actually, what? Somebody brought up an interesting thing once in one of my metaphysical classes. It was does thinking about, or fixating on, but does like reading about or thinking about or talking about negative things like and watching scary movies or reading serial killer books or true crime novels, does that lower your vibration? My answer to that would be no, as long as you don't get like, super fixated on it, I guess. I don't know. Like I want to learn how to do like the SFX for, zombies and stuff, but I don't feel like it depends on the person, I would imagine. There's some people that just can't even begin to talk about it. But anywho, if anybody wants a reading, I've got my decks. You put some questions in the doobly for those just tuning in, and we're talking about scary Halloween stuff already because it's Scary Halloween coming up in, like, I think it's 2 weeks. Oh my goodness, 2 whole weeks. Because of the LOA. What's LOA, Deshan? I'm feeling like a noob. Oh, law of attraction. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, that took me a minute. I didn't have a lot of coffee today. But my sweater has dog hair in it and I'm very itchy. Yeah, I don't think it's not like you're all, I don't necessarily think that's, I don't think it's depends on, so why am I getting stuck on my words here? So I don't think the law of attraction really applies to stuff like that. I think it's okay to find certain aspects of the human psyche and of abnormal psychology fascinating, because it's part of the human experience. Like, these things happen in our world and there's no way we could ever really possibly understand them. And as a rule, humans find things that they could never understand, either 1, very frightening, or 2, very interesting. There's really no in between. Nobody ever heard about a serial murderer and then was just like, yawn, that's real boring. Like, where they're either like, no, absolutely not, or they eat it up with a spoon. That being said, I think just as in anything, moderation, like if you're staying up day and night and you're shirking your job and you're doing like card readings for serial killers and like being ridiculous about it, like maybe then I'd worry about it. But if you pick up a true crime novel because you just love reading about the stuff, I don't think that that's gonna. Yeah, that's what Sunny says. Balance light and dark. You can't fixate on sparkly fairies all the time. Although some people can. You absolutely can. If you can manage to do that, that's fine. But sometimes some people just need a little bit more, which is fine. I think it is what it is. As long as you yourself are not serial killing. I think you're probably okay. All right, so if you want a reading, put them in the doobly. And then, yeah, otherwise we'll just continue talking about serial killers. Oh, Julie, yes, Book of Enoch. So you believe the Nephilim were aliens? Yeah, ancient alien theory. So let's talk about ancient aliens, because I do love me some ancient aliens, and Julie did bring it up, so I can't even be blamed for bringing it up, right? Whether or not, like, so I haven't really gotten that far in the Book of Enoch, Julie, honestly. I am still on Enoch. I'm still on Enoch book 1, and I'm only a few pages in, mostly because the book that I bought that discusses the Book of Enoch had a oh my god, it had an introduction for the, well, it had a forward and an introduction, and because I'm a giant nerd, I have to read the forwards and the introductions and all that good stuff. Like, I just have to. And that was it was like trying to eat uncooked oatmeal. Like, it was like not even good oatmeal, just this plain steel cut oats with nothing in it. And then oh, what kind of info do I need for a reading? You just need to ask your question. Why? You just need to ask your question, and then I'll do the reading for you. I like to say, or rather my teacher likes to say, and then I've totally just stolen the saying, I'm verbally plagiarizing, but the more specific you are about your question, the usually the better the reading, because yeah, you can walk into a library and you can browse around and like maybe try and find something like with nothing, like with no particular aim, or you can say, today I'm going to study cookbooks at the library because I need a recipe for meatloaf, and that is a much more productive trip to the library, because you go right to the cooking section and then you look up meatloaf recipes. So for me, the best tarot readings usually come for people looking for meatloaf. Let's just put it that way. So the more specific your question, the better. I will do a general reading for you if you want, though. It's not a big deal. All right. So anyway, that aliens came from outer space. So yes, as far as Enoch's concerned. Oh, really? that's interesting. Yeah, because so the Nephilim. Well, the Nephilim technically, aren't the Nephilim are the results of the fallen angels mating with humans. So Julie says her great grandma used to jokingly tell us that witches came from angels and human pairings, and that's where empaths and witches and stuff came from. But I've always heard, which is why I'm reading Enoch now to get clarification on it, but the Nephilim were the result of human angel pairings. Like, that's the human angel hybrid would be a Nephilim. And apparently, like, according to whatever, like all the videos that I've been watching on the interwebs, anyway, the Nephilim were also supposed to be a race of giants. And I don't know. According to Supernatural, you know what? I haven't seen that episode yet, so I can't even tell you. But according to Supernatural, I don't know. It's some sort of like, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, no, it would be like, I haven't quite gotten that far into Enoch. But yeah, I don't know. It should be interesting. Like, I can't wait. I'm actually gonna read a few more, another chunk of it tonight. But yeah, paranormal human ability. And there's some really awesome. No, Tiff, put down your question. Do it. Do it. You're not allowed to read the Book of Enoch because of that crazy. That's really stupid. That's really stupid. Like, I would, first of all, nobody can ever tell me there's a book I'm not allowed to read, because that's just going to make me want to read it more. And then, I don't know, like, why would you tell young kids that they're not allowed to read a book? Like, I never really understood that at all. I mean, one, it's just, like, again, it just makes you want to read it more. Just like your parents tell you not to do something, that just makes you want to read it all the more. Secondly, children are more apt to believe that stories are stories. I don't know, like they don't read as critically as adults do, which is good and it's bad. I mean, you know, they have that sense of wonder when they read a story and that sense of imagination. So why? A tarot about your death, how will you die and when? That's not necessarily okay. So tarot does not predict the future. I don't care what anybody says. Because the future is always changing. That's when you sneakily read it. In my house, I was told that I couldn't listen to Adam Sandler CDs either, but guess what was hidden under my Bonnie Raitt CD in the CD player? Like you can't. Yeah, so yeah, you don't want to do anyway. Why you don't want to do you don't want to do a reading about your death, first of all, because tarot cannot accurately predict it. Every once in a while, I guess some people have reported being able to read about death, but also don't ask questions you don't really want the answer to is a really good rule for tarot. Like, you're living happy now. Do you really want to know? Like, I wouldn't want to know. Unless it was like a year from now. Like, I'd want to know because I would like totally just burn the store down and do what I wanted. But yeah, you don't really want to know. Yeah, so the Book of Enoch is considered. So here's why the Book of Enoch is considered heresy. It is not technically a book of the Bible. A bunch of old, dusty old dudes got together. An emperor in early Rome, the Council of Nicaea, to make the Bible. I can't. First of all, I can't read for your death. I just said tarot does not predict the future. I am not a psychic, and I wouldn't even purport to be. I'm not. That is nobody has the power to tell you how you're going to die and when. Nobody does. And anybody who does tell you that they have the power to tell you how you're going to die and when is a charlatan. They're a charlatan. Like 9 times out of 10, they're just looking to scare you out of your money. So they're just looking to scare you out of your money. Why? So if that is something that you need to, yeah, if that is something that you're like want to read about, like maybe you could, I don't know, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Sunny, if that is something that YY was seriously interested in finding out about, like, you know a little bit more about some of the darker stuff than I do, but and you've been hanging around in the tarot culture a lot more than I have, or for a lot longer than I have. Is there any way? I don't know. So Tiffy wants to know, well, the true Bible, first of all, it's not Hebrew. It's Hebrew isn't, the modern Hebrew isn't, like, the Hebrew isn't really Hebrew. It's Phoenician. The most early books of the Bible. Yeah, Hebrew, Aramaic. Hebrew isn't. It's like a Phoenician. It's a branch of the Phoenician language. It's earlier. It's Phoenician Canaanite, if memory serves. It's not actually. So what we know as modern Hebrew isn't as ancient as we like to believe. So you've got books, and the most recent book of the Bible is dated to 100 years after the death of Jesus Christ, give or take a few years. So you have a centuries-old account. Closest. Okay. Anyway, all right. Let's see. Where are we going? So Tiffany wants a reading about, she's getting a message from a nephrology doc asking if you'd be interested in an interview. So you want to like see how the interview's going to go? Okay, let's see. Oh, you have a jumper. Okay, so yeah, it's yeah, so I mean, like, it's ancient. Like, don't get me started on the Bible and its sources. I mean, I think a lot of them are ridiculous, and most books of the Bible aren't actually included in the Bible. Like most early Christian texts are not included in the Bible because a bunch of old dudes sitting around a table in Rome decided that they wanted to be in charge of a whole bunch of other people with a whole bunch of other religions that didn't really mesh very well with Christianity, but they still like. So shit tons of books didn't even make it into the Bible that were actually a huge part of Christian culture. And then you have other parts of the Bible that aren't actually the word of God, but people were too stupid to not eat shellfish that hadn't been left out in the sun in the middle of the desert. So they had to say that maybe you shouldn't eat clams because God said. So like the Bible is garbage, is kind of, not to say that it's garbage, like it's an important historical document, but you need to know that it is heavily doctored and has been translated from languages that have been translated from languages that have been translated from languages. So it's not, you know, it's like, it's you know, people like to fight about, oh, well, you're just talking about semantics, but semantics are really important. And when you are talking about the semantics of ye old-timey language that has been, you know, translated 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, however many times over, you tend to lose the original meanings to original phrases, like, you know, because you've got colloquial sayings that kind of lose their original whatever. But yes, Julie, I have had a ton of deja vu. But anyway, it just yeah, it's so anyway. So for anybody to say that any book of technically the whole Bible is heretic, because it's not, because it's not the original Bible anyway. Like, so I mean, like, so that drives me crazy when people are just like, well, books of the Bible, can't read those because it wasn't included in the original. It's like, well, no shit. But anyway, I digress. Tiffany's reading. Okay. But yeah, there are lots of deja vu lately. I wonder why that is. Okay. So Tiffany's reading for her interview. It's going to be a good interview, Tiffany. You got the 9 of Pentacles. I'm sorry, the 9 of Wands. So the 9 of Wands is about taking a look back at where you've come from and kind of appreciating the hard work that it took to get you there. I love this deck is so cute. So it's also about kind of protecting yourself emotionally. So I would say it's about protecting yourself emotionally a little bit, but it's generally like it's been a long hard road, but it's almost over. Like, so like there's an end coming. You know, the bird's like, it's kind of shielding itself a little bit, but that took a lot of work building that little wall. So you've got the Queen of Pentacles. You got the 7 of Pentacles. And you got the Star. So 7 Pentacles. All right, so the 7 of Pentacles kind of backs up. It kind of backs up the same kind of sentiment of the 9 of Wands. Traditionally, you see the 7 of Pentacles. It's a dude, and he's in his garden, and he's waiting for the pentacles to finish growing so he can harvest them. But he looks a little tired. You know, so it's almost time to reap the rewards for your hard work. But, you know, you have to decide if that's, you know, I think this kind of goes back to the thing you were saying. It's not really the field that you want to see yourself in, but it could probably get you further than you've gotten so far. You know, you just going to like, you know, is the field that you want to be in the field that you want to be in, really? Or is this like a new this is a cool new opportunity and you just aren't quite open to it yet? But also, again, like you've worked so hard to get there, why not reap the rewards for being there? And then the Queen of Pentacles is somebody, you know, it's she enjoys the finer things. You know, it's kind of, so the Queen of Pentacles, how would I describe her? She's kind of got like an Empress vibe going on to her. She's motherly. She's very nurturing. She, financially, she's usually, I would say the Queen of Pentacles are usually financially stable. Usually, sometimes they spend a little too much of their money in the process of nurturing. But for the most part, they've got kind of control over the purse springs. Over the purse strings. So what I would say is going into this interview and going into this job, kind of keep your, like, you know, you're in charge of your destiny financially. So maybe this is kind of keep salary negotiations on hand, but like I wouldn't strong arm them a little bit. Like I wouldn't strong arm it. I would like finesse it and kind of like, oh, you know, like just weigh the money stuff, because I know that seems to be an issue, like not an issue, but that's a concern for you, as far as that's concerned. But these two are usually pretty good cards financially. I mean, it's not like it's no Five of Pentacles. It's not a card. These aren't cards of destitution. But then you also got the Star card, which is an awesome card to get, because this is a card of like, wish granted. Wow. Okay, Billy Payne. Wait, Sonny can thank you. You got it. All right. So technically, you know, this is a card of, let's see. Sorry, Billy kind of took me out of my whatever. So anyway, yeah, so the Star card it's a good sign. So I think the interview is going to go really, really well. And yeah, I think it'll be all right. Like it's a good interview for you. It's a good job opportunity. It takes you out of an environment that you don't want to be in to begin with. I wouldn't go into it nervous or anything. So yeah, don't worry about it. I think you're gonna have a great interview. Twin Flames video. I'll have to look that one up. Julie says Julie's talking about Twin Flames videos, and apparently it's supposed to let you know about the one that the people that you love. But anyway, let's see. Oh, okay. So okay, so question for YY. What things should you avoid in life to prevent negative outcomes? All right, that's a good one for YY. And if YY's never had a reading before, you know what? I'm going to just use my classic deck. This is a Rider-Waite deck. It is the Rider-Waite Centennial. Oh, Billy. I'm really sorry that Billy's got nothing better to do. I hope he's having fun from his parents' basement. It's okay. It's okay, Billy. We know it's super hard. We know it's super hard to go to school at the age of 15 smelling like mothballs and stale cigarette smoke, but you'll get over it, buddy. And you'll remember this when you're older and you'll be ashamed. Okay. So, all right. So what should YY avoid in life? Or what should YY avoid to prevent negative outcomes in life? That's a good one. All right. So let's see. Negative outcomes, avoiding them. I want that one. Okay. Let's see. Well, first you have to avoid people like Billy. Okay. All right. So this says to me, all right. So your first card is the Knight of Wands. So I like this card a lot. I always I don't know if you're from YY, if you're familiar with video game culture, but I like to joke that this is the Leroy Jenkins. Well, no, it's not. Well, not. That's the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is Leroy Jenkins. But the Knight of Wands is somebody who's kind of fiery and passionate and a little Leroy Jenkinsy. They just kind of rush in headlong without any without any you know, thought for consequence or anything like that. They just jump right in and they're just like, yes, amazing. And then you've got the Ace of Wands and you've got the Ace of Pentacles. So let's see, all of these together to avoid negative outcomes in life. A lot of this just says, I don't think there's much that you need to avoid necessarily. I think you need, maybe this says slow down and think a little bit first before you just jump headlong into things. Don't just, you know, like it's okay to be spontaneous, but it's not okay to be reckless. So when following passions and ideas and like that kind of thing, just maybe like take a step back and be like, all right, okay. And Wands, they tend to have kind of a fiery temper. You know, they're redheads. It's fine. So what I would say is maybe watch your temper a little bit. If you tend to be a little, not angry necessarily, but if you know that you have like a tendency to kind of like react immediately, maybe kind of like peel that back a little bit and then think through, you know, be a little more mindful of your emotions before you just like up and react to things. And then the Ace of Pentacles, I would say that this is kind of telling you to be wise with your money. You know, that'll help you avoid negative outcomes, like, you know, avoid gambling, avoid pyramid schemes, avoid bad investments. You know, avoid just frivolously blowing your money on stuff. Just be smart with your money. So to avoid negative outcomes in life, just be smart with your emotions and smart with your money. And I don't know if that helped or not, but yeah, that's that. How was that for your first reading? Like, I'm very honored that I got to do your first reading, and I hope that advice wasn't, you know, too general for you, but like a general question like that, just to avoid general negative outcomes in life, you know, be smart with your emotions and smart with your money, and, you know, don't let the knee-jerk reactions kind of get to you every time. That's all. All right, so if anybody else wants a reading, go ahead and put it in the doobly. Otherwise, I don't know. What time is it? It is 9:49. I think I'm going to start thinking about doing a general energy reading for us. Should I use Doreen's Hideous Animal deck? For those that are just joining in, I did a little flip through, not a little flip through, but I did like a little first impressions. Oh, Jessica, what would you like me to read for you? Put your question in the doobly, and then we'll go ahead and do a reading. You know, Deshan says, please no to the Animal Tarot. It just was so bad, you guys. It was so bad. I don't even know why it was that bad, but it was pretty bad. You felt called to Yoruba Orishas? I don't know what a Yoruba Orishas is. Can you expand on what Yoruba is? You don't get good feelings from the Doreen cards. Give it one try, or we'll give it one try, but I won't do it for Jessica's reading. Actually, you know what? I will do I'll do Prisma Vision. Oh, Santeria. Okay. So you've been feeling drawn to Santeria. All right. And you want to know what it's about, like what the particular draw is, or? All right, so Jessica and Santeria. I think Prisma is probably a good deck for that. It's colorful, which Santeria tends to be. So Is there any particular aspect of Santeria that you feel is drawing you in? Like, do you have an idea of that already, or? I know it's kind of a controversial religion. You really want to put, Deshan, you really want to know whether or not possible pregnancies, why the Orisha is more than the practice? All right, let's figure it out. Ooh. That one. All right. Let's see. Okay, so you drew the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, and Strength. All right. So, did you just put a poop emoji for children? That's gross, Sunny. It's true though. All right. So, so you drew the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, and Strength. So I would say that the Orishas probably appeal to the more nurturing and not necessarily sensual, but like the five senses part of you. Like they're a little more grounded in like the more physical, and that makes more sense to you. Like they're, you know, sight, smell, touch, you know, taste, like that kind of stuff. You know, it just they're a little more down to earth and a little more practical than like the ridiculous stuff happening up here for you. You know, like the like flighty angels and fairies and whatever. Like this just seems a little more practical and a little, like, again, a little more, not necessarily, I don't think opulent or what is the word? I cannot think of the word for the life of me, but a little more, like I said, down to earth, a little more like five senses related for you. So I think that's probably one of the things that's appealing to you. And probably they have a lot more saints and whatnot related to women's issues, which is, I'm assuming, very important to you. And then Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is what it is. It's fate, kid. You're drawn to work with them for a reason. And it's probably because either you've worked with them before in a past life, or there's just some really important work and personal growth that you need to do with them right now. Let me go ahead and do a close-up of this card. I love this card. So the Wheel of Fortune is a couple of snakes, one of them in a really complicated Ouroboros, and then you've got one snake tangled up with a peacock. And then you've got another adorable little peacock kind of peeking in the upper corner, being like, hey, what's going on there? Maybe he's going to come help his peacock friend, and maybe not. Because fate, like, I love the Wheel of Fortune, and yeah, it turns, but it's a little more complicated than just a wheel. Like, there's all sorts of twists and turns and knots and problems, and like there's characters, there's more in conflict and heroicism, stuff that goes along with fate than just a turning wheel and like, oh, it's good, nope, it's bad, and yes, the wheel spins. So I don't think that the Wheel of Fortune necessarily always does the complex idea of fate justice. So I think that this is probably a little more accurate to the Wheel of Fortune. You have some work you have to do with them. It's just, that's why you're being called to it. It's just, you have work you have to do with them. There's like, whether it's personal, whether you've got to work through some shadow stuff, and there's some good stuff that's going to come your way. I mean, it's going to be a very complicated relationship for you with them. It's going to, you know, but it's also going to be a very beautiful relationship. It's probably like a little, I would say, be careful. I know some people would tell you that working, if you're not familiar with working with Santeria and some of the saints and deities and stuff that come along with a practice that you're not familiar with, people would tell you, be careful and really like read about it and research it before you go ahead and do that, because I feel like it's probably like if you're really into it and that's what you're believing and feeling, there's probably a little bit of dangerous stuff there too. So just be careful if you're going to go ahead and move forward with it. That's all. So there's that. And then strength. While you're rooting around in there working with these brandy new orishas and getting the stuff done that you're gonna be doing, like it's gonna take some emotional strength for you, like to work through the stuff that you have to work through. So just again, be prepared for that work, shore yourself up mentally and emotionally, and just have fun working with them. I think it's like, again, like the peacocks they're having a good time, even though the snake's hanging out. Like I think it's going to be good for you to work with them. But they are appealing to you specifically. I think the Empress card is what answered the question for you specifically, is because they're a little more grounded and they make a little more sense for you than some of the other options that are out there. Like, anyway, there's that. I hope that helped you very much. Fur babies do not talk back. I love it. They're always happy to see you. Yes, it's right, Julie. Fur babies do not talk back. They will never, I always joke to people at the shop that they will never, ever tell you they hate you after you buy them $1,000 worth of new school clothes, because they can't. And you don't have to buy them school clothes. So anyway, you can buy them school clothes though. Anybody else want a reading tonight? Put it in the doobly. Put it in the doobly-doo if you want a reading. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and we're going to wind it down. We're going to draw an oracle card for the evening. Let's see. Actually, you know what? We're not going to draw an oracle card. We're going to draw, well, I use it as an oracle because it's just the majors. But I recently got the Arcani I Gadi Buffy. Is that has from Il Meneghello. I recently got this cute little Dorby's little deck, and I will do a pull from this one. It's basically silly cats. It is an all majors deck with silly cats. I mean, how do you not love that? So let's go ahead and pull our card for the night, and then I'm going to go to bed because it is bedtime for old ladies. Oh, if you were you would be a millionaire if you didn't have your 4 kids, quite possibly. The CD, it's not CDC, is it CDC? I think it is the CDC or the Census Bureau or something. Not CD. That's not the CDC. Is the Center for Disease Control. WHO. It might be WHO, and then there's another organization in the United States. I forget the exact organization, but the statistic is true. It costs raising a kid, not including college tuition, raising a kid from 0 to 18 years, depending on where you live in the country, averages about $250,000. And that's if you like bare bones it. That's like nothing extra fancy. That does not count iPhones. It does not count like video game systems. It does not count. That's just like clothes and food and school supplies. So on average, depending on where you live, my state, I believe, is on the higher end of the spectrum. It costs about $250,000 from ages 1 to 18 per kid. So 4 kids is $1 million. You would have $1 million, Julie. Because 250,000 times 4 is $1 million. Oh my goodness, you poor thing. Yeah, diapers, clothes, school, college. I do not envy you. We do not envy you, Julie. We love you, but we do not envy you that bill. All right. So let's go ahead and draw our card for the evening. So this is an Il Meneghello deck, and for those of you that don't know about Il Meneghello, he is like this 80-some-odd-year-old guy hanging out in Italy, like still hand-making tarot cards. And I have a secret crush on him because I always have secret crushes on old people because I'm fucking weird. So that's the way that goes. So let's go ahead. Let's see what card. We pulled the moon. Oh my goodness, look at this moon card, you guys. How adorbies is this? Come on, focus. Here we go, little camera that could. So this is the moon card. Here we've got a cat with one eye. We've got 3 blind mice. Oh my God, you guys. And then we've got the moon smiling up in the sky. So the moon, people always give this a negative, like the moon has a negative meaning. I don't think it does necessarily. It can have a somewhat precarious meaning. Like it's definitely, it can mean like hidden things in kind of a scary way, but also in a way that's not as scary once light is really shed on the, it's usually a mountain, not a molehills kind of a card, but it could also be something secret that's going on behind your back that you don't know about kind of a card. No, the cat's not winking. He's only got one eye. Because you've got 3 blind mice trying to get away from a one-eyed cat. Like they have a chance, but it's not that great. That to me is a cat with one eye. I mean, he could be winking. Maybe he's winking. I don't know. Maybe he's winking because he's about to have mice dinners, which is good for the cat. So anyway, the moon to me, the moon card to me is, well, and this one especially, this is a more whimsical moon. This isn't such a scary town USA moon. I would say that this is like, you know, just be careful for the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, where it's not going to be like super scary, dangerous, or what have you stuff, or stuff that's like detrimental to your day-to-day life, but it's more annoying than it is anything else. So just kind of be aware of your surroundings and stuff that's going on. Just kind of pay extra attention. I mean, Halloween is almost here. People are going to be practical joking and being ridiculous, and know that all this scary stuff, you know, this could apply to, like we were just talking about, all that ridiculously scary stuff to begin with, like earlier. You know, don't let the scary stuff get to you this Halloween. Like don't over binge on our serial killers and our scary movies, and just, you know, maybe keep a little extra eye out as far as personal stuff is going on. I love this deck so much. I love this deck. It's just so good. God, I just love this deck. Can I just say again how much I love this deck? I mean, look at this sun card. Can we even? I actually have all of his dog and cat decks, so I have to do a walkthrough of his dog and cat decks because they're all majors only anyway. So anyway, that is the reading for today. Moon card, but applied in a more whimsical way to our lives. All right, kids, I'm going to go to bed. I think you guys should all go to bed. Maybe jump on. I know that Avalon is doing a Bone Stone Bash right now. I believe she's revealing the suit of cups, or she's talking about the cup suit, plus I guess 2 extra cards, which is really exciting. So I won't be watching that live tonight, but I will be watching it tomorrow. But yeah, no. All right, guys, I'm going to bed. I will talk to you later. Thank you for jumping on. And YY, thank you for letting me do your first tarot reading. I feel like it wasn't as good as it probably could have been. So I hope you join next time. And think about a question you've got between now and I'll probably do one at least Tuesday. Why don't you join next Tuesday? Or you can do the mornings too. Because sometimes I'll pop on in the morning and do like breakfast clubs, but think of a good question. And if you need help crafting a question, you can totally message me. You can message me here, or you can message me on my Instagram is Cape Cod Creatures. And then I also have the forum. So you can message on tarotsphere.net. You can message me there and I can help you. I can absolutely help you craft a question, and then we can do a reading on it and give you something like a little more stellar than the really general reading that we just did. Like I said, it's like going to the library. If you don't really know what you're looking for, you're not really, you're gonna get something like really vague. But anyway, I will talk to you guys later, and I'm not gonna kiss Tasha because he would bite my lips off, and then I'd be like that guy from Hannibal Lecter. The TV series, I believe it was Freddie. There was the female reporter in the books, but I'm not kissing Tasha because I enjoy having lips. So I will see you guys later. All right, bye.